Hey folks, David Frost, LazyGapTrader.com. In this video, we're talking about day trading. We're talking more specifically about gap trading. Gap trading is by far the single most consistent and best or profitable day trading strategy found across the markets today. You're looking at a chart of Finisar Corp, FNSR. This was on the morning gap trade list that goes out to my subscribers at 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 30 minutes before the market opens. Today wasn't necessarily a great gap trading day. The market is very quiet. The stocks that were moving didn't hit their levels, and things just aren't moving a lot into a 3-day holiday weekend. That's normal, typical market behavior. Sometimes we just have to wait for the trades to come to us, and we find ourselves with only one possible trade today in Finisar. However, it did open below the level of $31.82, and that really becomes a scratch, and that's what's taught in my course at LazyGapTrader.com, because it significantly increases the risk of that trade. It reduces the same probability you had as if the stock opened above that level. This level, like other levels that I show on other stocks, is extremely important to this stock. In the course, I teach you how to calculate that, and I teach you why that is. And that being the case, when a level is extremely important to a stock, I know that even if it opens below that level, there could be something else that an experienced trader can take advantage of to potentially stay in or take that trade nonetheless. However, with reduced odds, I want to teach in my course the proper way. But with years of experience comes other avenues that you can utilize to take trades, and I want to show you a little bit about what happened with Finisar this morning. I think it's a good lesson nonetheless, if for nothing else than a good trading lesson. So let's do a couple of things first. First order of business is, let's go over to the email that went out to subscribers early this morning, 30 minutes before the market opened. As you can see, when I scroll down, Finisar was the last one on the list. The other four on top of it didn't hit their levels, and that just comes from the lack of volatility that's in the market right now, but that'll obviously change when it changes. So Finisar, I say gap lower. Support levels are $31.82 and $30.73. Stop and profit target is about 20 to 40 cents. That's a minimum profit target. So first, let's note that those two levels are relatively close together, so we know that there's a lot of support in that zone in between from one level to another. One way or the other, the stock's going to find support at one of those two levels. So we're back on the chart of Finisar, and now what I want to do is I want to actually show you the live trade. I'm going to cut in and show you the trade live that happened right at the open. So here you go. Hey folks, David Frost, LazyGapTrader.com. You're looking at a chart which will become live in a couple of seconds of Finisar. The stock's going to open below my recommended level at $31.82. There it is. It opened just slightly below that level. However, I just purchased the stock at $31.60. I didn't even have enough time to give you the setup. And the reason I did that, which I'll go over as we go through this, let me just get into the trade here. I'm looking for a nice big bounce out of this. I'm looking for $31.50. I'm going to sell the stock at $31.50, and I'm going to explain why once I get settled into the trade here, and why I was able to buy the stock below the level, even though in my course I recommend not to do that, because the risk is completely reduced. It's a different risk. The risk is increased, I should say, when a stock opens below a level. However, there were some technical indicators that I had that led me to purchase this stock anyway, looking for a big bounce. Now, we're playing around with this level down here, so I want to see the bounce sooner than later. Okay. Let's back above. Okay, so there we go. Looking for $32.50 to get out of this trade. Okay. Didn't get filled yet. Now I'm filled. Okay, $32.50 out of the trade. All right. Now let me explain why I was able to buy. All right, now we're back on Finisar, and I want to explain some of the reasons why, from a technical perspective, from a market perspective, and from this stock's perspective, on why I was comfortable taking this trade, understanding that it is a more of an advanced technique that I used in order to have the confidence to take on the additional risk. That's an individual trader's decision to take on the additional risk. Here's what I saw. First, let's go over to the pre-market session. So we'll go over to the 24-hour clock, and you can see here in the pre-market, and this is right around 9:10, 9:20, 9:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. You could see the stock made a low of $31.50, and it never went below that level in the pre-market. So that in and of itself had me thinking that that was going to be a relatively decent support area for the stock for another couple of reasons that we'll get to, but when you put them all together, they all make sense, at least to me. So let's go back to the regular session clock, and now we're going to go to an hourly chart. So when I look at the hourly chart, and here's our two levels for today, 31.82 and then the one below, and when I see the hourly chart, I notice that the 31.82 happens to coincide with an hourly pivot high, and also it coincides with an area where the stock on an hourly chart broke out. So when a stock breaks out, okay, a lot of times when it starts to come back down, it will find support at that last breakout point. That's just technical 101, technical stuff 102. So when a chart or when a stock comes back to retest an area of a prior breakout, I feel there's going to be an area of support. So that was another reason. So I had the pre-market activity, now I have a previous breakout coming back to test it, and I had my important 31.82 that I teach in my course, why that's important. So that's another reason that's even more important than the first two reasons. So now I have three reasons why this stock should find support at this area. So my confidence is building at that 31.50 area, saying, okay, so we've gotten below it a little bit. I have another level right below this. There was a lot of chart consolidation in this area in between the two levels. An experienced trader, I'm willing to take the trade. I'm willing to have the added risk, knowing that this should be a really, really solid area of support. Therefore, I'm taking the trade. I had multiple reasons why I was willing to take the trade. 31.82, very strong mathematical level. That's taught in my course. Other technical reasons why I felt I could take this trade and have the added level of risk and have the reward ahead of me. So hopefully it was helpful. I'm David Frost. Come over to check out my course at lazygaptrader.com. It's chock full of information that you can utilize for gap trading and other trading strategies. Come over to check out the course, folks. David Frost, thanks for tuning in.